Come and dream with me.
Hello and welcome to What Do You Want to Watch, the Explosion Network's premier media podcast. Every week we get together and talk about movies, TV, and online content. Help you answer the question, has anyone been roasted during this strike so far more than Bob Iger? I don't think so. Not yet. I'm your host, Ashley Hobley. Join me today, Dylan Blight.
My man, really, sometimes it only takes one interview to end in someone's career.
It's pretty unrealistic, his expectations of...
He came out of retirement for this. Mm-hmm.
On today's episode, we'll be talking about what's our watch history, going over some film and TV news, give us some thumbs to trailers, and doing this week's top three. We're going to change things up this week. Emmys happened. Emmy Nominations got released last week. Lots of big shows, multiple nominees: Succession, The White Lotus, Last of Us, Ted Lasso, all raking in the nominations. We're going to go through all the a lot of the main categories. But Dylan, what are your thoughts on this year's Emmy nominations in general?
In general, I think they're fine. As always, there's a few things that stood out that I personally would have changed. I think after last week, everything bar one person or one of my dream things was not nominated. Everyone else that I wanted was nominated
of
in
your
the
four,
categories.
One
of my
was
four, one was missing.
And really, it was your top three that got in. So
yeah, I mean it's true. My top three got in. All my Better Call Saul ones got in. It was just the one odd one out.
Overall, I think it was good. I think the common criticism that I'm seeing across the board is a lot of nominees from the same shows that maybe didn't deserve to get in. I believe a lot of the supporting drama categories are completely filled with White Lotus and Succession actors.
Yeah, but I view it and go, everyone from White Lotus deserves this. No one from Succession deserves this. But then I go, I haven't watched that show.
But really, the fourth person down deserved it more than the best supporting actor on another show. You know what I mean? Is that fourth person really competition for Jennifer Coolidge in the supporting actress category?
Well, probably not, no.
Or Rhea Seehorn, sorry.
Yeah. No, look, you're starting war over here.
I don't. Obviously they made some changes this year where they, in the past, you could just nominate as many people as you wanted on the ballot. This year they put a cap in the hopes that they would sort of spread the love a little bit more. Turns out, didn't happen. It was just this is my favorite show. I'm nominating every single person in it. So yeah.
I mean, we do that sometimes with our awards, so
that's true. But I feel like we, it's rarely that way, ends up that way. Unless we, haven't watched much in that category in that year. And this should be the Emmys who watch everything and give fair viewing to every category, but really, as much as those kids were cool in The Last of Us, did they deserve to be the best guest actors in a drama series? I don't know. Over Andy Serkis?
No. That's it. No.
So yeah. Pretty crazy. But yeah, let's run through some categories. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through a lot of the drama and comedy acting categories, then the big three: best drama, best comedy, and best limited series. Go through the nominees, and then we're both going to give one person or show that we think should have been nominated. That we think was, some would say we think was snubbed. So yeah, let's kick things off. Starting with best supporting actress in a drama series. The nominees this year are Jennifer Coolidge for White Lotus, Elizabeth Debicki for The Crown, Megan Fahy for White Lotus, Sabrina Chitauri for The White Lotus, Aubrey Plaza for The White Lotus, Rhea Seehorn for Better Call Saul, J. Smith Cameron for Succession, and Simona Tabasco for The White Lotus. So that's what? 5 White Lotus people.
Hmm.
Do there really need to be 5 White Lotus people?
They're pretty good. I got no one for this. I got no one for this particular category I have no problems with.
So I wrote down should I put down? Put Morfydd Clark from Lord of the Rings, who obviously played Galadriel. I believe she went up as Best Supporting Actress. As a collective cast, I think they all went supporting, so I think she would have been in.
I see what you've done. So you've gone and looked at the people who legit missed out. Like who were put forward and legit missed out. I just looked at them and went, do I have a problem with this? Nah.
Okay.
I mean, I would not kick anyone out for her. Like, she's good, but
I don't know. Share the love. So we'll see who Dylan actually will kick people out for. Best Supporting Actor in a Drama Series. The nominees are F. Murray Abraham for The White Lotus, Nicholas Braun for Succession, Michael Imperioli for The White Lotus, Theo James for The White Lotus, Matthew McFadden for Succession, Alan Ruck for Succession, Will Sharp for The White Lotus, and Alexander Skarsgård for Succession. Again, what? 4 Succession, 4 White Lotus. Those are the only male actors in television.
I would kick out any of the Succession people. I don't know which one I'm kicking out because I don't know which one's the worst or the least deserving.
I would probably say probably Nicholas Braun. I think of those 4, he is definitely the least likeliest to win.
Cool. So we can replace him with Tony Dalton from Better Call Saul.
Okay. There you go. My pick would have been Stellan Skarsgård for Andor. You know how they saw that speech on him standing on that I don't know, beam, you know, cape flowing in the wind, and the Emmy voters are like, nah, don't understand. We'll go Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. The nominees are Alex Bornstein for The Marvelous Miss Maisel, Aya Edaberry for The Bear, Janelle James for Abbott Elementary, Cheryl Lee Ralph for Abbott Elementary, Juno Temple for Ted Lasso, Hannah Wenningham for Ted Lasso, Jessica Williams for Shrinking.
I don't think I had anyone for this, to be honest. Do I? Supporting actress?
Yeah.
Well, no, because I only had one. Like we all know who I would have had if they fucking missed out. But
what?
No, I got no one.
You got no one.
No, I got no one.
This is a little bit hypercritical, because I said all the complaining about all the actors from the same show, but Lisa Ann Walter from Abbott Elementary. I think 3 in a category is fair. That's a fair number. She's great as Miss Chimenti. So yeah, that was my pick. Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy. No, Best Supporting. Yeah, Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series. The nominees are Anthony Carrigan for Barry, Phil Dunster for Ted Lasso, Brett Goldstein for Ted Lasso, James Marsden for Jury Duty, Eben Moss Bacharach for The Bear, Tyler James Williams for Abbott Elementary, and Henry Winkler for Barry. Nice spread there. Who missed out?
Fuck, I forgot to write his name down. Ted Lasso.
In supporting?
Brett Goldstein, right?
He's there.
Is he? I misheard.
Phil Dunster, Brett Goldstein.
Okay, cool. I missed it before. No, I'm good then. Never mind.
Harrison Ford was robbed. Robbed, I say. You saw Jessica Williams and gave her a nomination, but Harrison Ford right there singing Sugar Ray next to her and somehow does not get nominated? I don't understand it. I don't understand it, Dylan.
That's a fair point.
I saw he was the favorite on one of the sites I saw leading into these nominations. Somehow nothing. Man, they must have really hated Indiana Jones. Which
I mean,
understand.
fair. The
Crazy.
second half sucks.
What?
Of Indiana Jones. I mean, the second half sucks.
Okay.
Not shrinking.
I thought, well, so you like that show.
Yeah,
all right.
I do like that show.
Best lead actor in a drama series. The nominees are Sharon Horgan for Bad Sisters, Melanie Linsky for Yellow Jackets, Elizabeth Moss for The Handmaid's Tale, Bella Ramsey for The Last of Us, Kerry Russell for The Diplomat, and Sarah Stook for Succession. Who was snubbed?
No one.
Really? No one you could think of was snubbed from this category.
Am I looking at what's the category?
Best lead in a drama series. Actress.
Best lead in a drama series actress. Nah, got no one.
No one? Okay, I'm going to say Emma Darcy for House of the Dragon. Your top number 4 from last week.
Didn't I have her as supporting though?
No.
Okay. Yes, then.
You didn't say anything for supporting either, so I don't know what. Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
They should have been nominated.
Emma Darcy should have been nominated. What the fuck?
I know.
And my other follow would have been like, I would have actually switched. Like Melanie Lisinski's fine in season 2 of Yellow Jackets, but I would have switched her for a multitude of other actresses from the second season. To be honest,
Would they be classified as lead though?
Yeah, like for another lead. I still think one of the other female leads, not like one of the female supporting characters. In fact, I would easily switch. Nothing against Melanie Lisinski. I'm sorry. But I would actually switch her out for her younger counterpart.
Ooh. Interesting.
Sophie Nelsie no, not Sophie Thatcher. She plays a different character. Sophie Nelsie, I think is the actress's name.
Okay.
Sophie Thatcher plays the younger version of anyway.
Christina Ricci?
Nope.
Nope, then I don't know who.
Not her.
Best lead actor in a drama series. The nominees are Jeff Bridges for The Old Man, Brian Cox for Succession, Kieran Culkin for Succession, Bob Odenkirk for Better Call Saul, Pedro Pascal for The Last of Us, and Jeremy Strong for Succession. Dylan, how many lead actors do you think a show should have?
How many lead actors should a show have? I think I know. I don't want to put a ruling on it.
I'll say Brian Cox, very lucky to be nominated in this category.
Look, because he dies, right?
Spoilers, but yes.
I mean, it was all over the internet. Come on, I haven't even watched this. Come on, people. Didn't he die in like the first episode of the season?
He is out like 4 episodes in, of the final season. So,
I would get rid of Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because obviously a lot of these nominations are based on like one episode of television because they only they put in one episode to be.
So what the fuck did they put in for that?
The second last episode? Which one do you think is most dramatic in? Maybe the first?
None of them?
When his daughter dies? I don't know.
I guess the first one. He's fine, but I would get rid of him. I could get rid of him for a lot of people, to be honest.
Well, who is at the top of the list?
Fuck. Ask me a question. I have to pick one person.
Yep, that was the requirement before the podcast we started recording.
Yeah, but you're making it hard, man. Usually you have such like, it's fine, man. I'm all loosey goosey with the rules, and then you come in, you're like, oh, you're fucking like, I got hard lines now, Dylan.
I think it was pretty not like difficult.
Hard lines now, motherfucker. Could I put in? No, that's a comedy. Never mind. I would put in. I would even put in, actually, because I think it's a highly underrated performance. And he's Diego Luna.
Okay, Diego Luna from Mandor.
I think a highly underappreciated performance simply because of his
not
character.
talky.
He's not talky or anything. So
Not that
yeah.
Joel's talky, but
no, but I actually think that he has a bigger, like I would say Diego Luna's performance as Cassian Andor is more deserving. Sorry, then that's enough. That's not. I'm not trying to say it's a bad performance. I just think
No.
I'd put like.
Okay. My pick for lead actor in a drama, Paddy Considine for House of the Dragon. Again.
He dies 4 episodes into.
No, he doesn't. He's like heaps far. Spoilers again. You have to put a spoiler for all the shows.
Even Matt Smith, right? Is he lead?
No, he's supporting.
You reckon? Okay.
Yeah. I think he would. He if it wasn't for all those White Lotus people, he would have been nominated.
All right, let's go back to when I said I didn't have anyone. I'm going supporting actor. I'm going backwards. That's my. I'm kicking someone else. I'm kicking the Succession person out for that person.
All right. Best lead actress in a comedy series. The nominees are Christina Applegate, Dead to Me, Rachel Brosnahan, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Quinta Brunson, Abbott Elementary, Natasha Lyonne, Poker Face, Jenna Ortega, Wednesday. Interesting. There's only 5 nominees for these 2 lead acting comedy categories, which lower than all the other categories. Just to point it out.
Is Wednesday a comedy?
I don't know. What classifies as a comedy is becoming grayer and grayer. Because there are 2 other shows that are nominated that a lot of people would argue are not comedies either. In The Bear and Barry. So
is Mrs. Davis a comedy?
No, it was up for limited series.
That's the problem. Can I choose to have Betty Gilpin nominated for this category?
Sure, just say.
I'll pick Betty Gilpin for Mrs. Davis.
Yeah, because we're not doing limited series actors, so sure.
That works for me.
My pick was Cecily Strong from Schmigadoon, because she's really great in the 2nd season. Very funny, does great musical numbers or craziness. So yeah, that would be my pick. Then lead actor in a comedy series, the nominees are Bill Hader for Barry, Jason Segel for Shrinking, Martin Short for Only Murders in the Building, Jason Sudeikis for Ted Lasso, and Jeremy Allen White for The Bear. Who was snubbed, Dylan?
I didn't have anyone for this.
Okay.
But to be fair, I don't think I watch as many comedy series.
Yeah. Dylan, these Emmy voters are the most devious bastards in New York City. Because Matt Berry should have been nominated for what we do in the shadows. What we do in the shadows, just for saying that line.
Still haven't caught up to that season, but yeah, that's fair. Is he lead?
He was up. I think he was classified as a lead.
Okay,
it's weird.
It's an ensemble cast, so it's hard to.
I went off Gold Derby, which had like a list of who they thought was going to be nominated. That's why I've been pulling a lot of these from. Smart. All right, best limited series. The nominees are Beef, Dharma, Monster, the Jeffrey Dharma story, Daisy Jones and the Six, Fleischman is in Trouble, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Dylan, aren't you, as a massive Star Wars fan, glad that Obi-Wan Kenobi, Emmy Award nominated TV series?
But so you're telling me, hold on. So you're telling me that they put Mrs. Davis up for limited series?
Yep.
And Obi-Wan got nominated over that.
Yep. I can understand that.
Can you?
Yeah, Mrs. Davis is super weird. Obi-Wan is standard.
Obi-Wan is fucking bland. Obi-Wan is safe.
Yeah.
Mrs. Davis is good.
Yeah.
Original. Good performances.
So Mrs. Davis would be your pick.
Sure, I'm not playing by the rules here. I'm picking Betty for best lead actress and then nominating it also
In a
best
comedy
limited
series, yeah. Yeah.
Fuck off. I'm doing what I want.
This isn't a show that I've watched, but it's clearly the biggest snub in this category, and it's Blackbird. Considering every single actor in that series has been nominated, it feels like.
Yeah.
Taron Egerton was up,
Yeah.
Paula Walter Hauser nominated, even who was it? Ray Liotta got nominated posthumously, and yet that show didn't get nominated over Obi-Wan Kenobi. Is crazy.
Look, I watched the trailer for that, and I think based on that, I have enough to say that it should probably be nominated over Obi-Wan.
All right, that's good to know. All right, best drama series. The nominees are Andor, Better Call Saul, The Crown, House of the Dragon, The Last of Us, Succession, The White Lotus, and Yellow Jackets. What series would you add to that list?
I'm good.
Yeah, that is a pretty solid list.
Yeah.
I wrote Lord of the Rings, Rings Power, I think.
But what are you taking out?
Is additive.
No, you gotta take something out. Yeah, see?
The Crown. Because that's one of the only shows on that I've watched nothing from. So, I mean, maybe Better Call Saul, seeing as it's kind of cheating, part 2 of last season.
I'll fucking stab you.
They're only it debuted right after the period ended. The second part.
Oh, fucking how dare you have a heart attack and fucking postpone the series?
They didn't postpone the series. They postponed half the series.
Yeah, because he nearly died. And here you
are
like, oh
waited
no,
the whole season.
Fucking hell.
If they had used the whole season, maybe they would win. Best comedy series. Nominees are Abbott Elementary, Barry, The Bear, Jury Duty, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Only Murders in the Building, Ted Lasso, and Wednesday. What would you add to that list, Dylan?
I'm good. I mean, I'll take Wednesday out. I don't think it should be there, but I don't know what I'd replace it with, to be honest.
What about The Rehearsal? One of the shows we really enjoyed last year.
Wouldn't that be a limited series, though?
No, they're doing a second season, remember?
Oh, fuck, they are too. Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, Rehearsal then. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, those are a lot of stuff.
Hold on. Have we ever talked about how are they doing the second season of that? That doesn't make any sense.
I think we specifically said when I think the news was released at the finale, and then we how the hell are they going to do a second season of that show? But yeah, completely snubbed. The Rehearsal, nothing. Yeah. So that's the Emmy Awards.
Can I add one? I had one on my list. You didn't read so Andy Serkis should have been up for guest.
Guest. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Again, those guest starring guest actor categories super just all White Lotus, all Succession, and all Last of Us people. I don't think they should have been, No. Again, we love Melanie Linsky. Did she need to be nominated for Last of Us?
No, she fucking did not, and it should have been Andy Serkis.
Probably not in that category, but
Andy Serkis should have been in several categories, even if he wasn't nominated.
Yeah. I am super happy, Nicholas Britell, who did the score for Andor, picked up a bunch of nominations and that kind of stuff. Obviously, they got a bunch of technical awards and stuff. So yeah, that's all very super exciting. So yeah, let us know what you thought of these Emmy nominations on our social media. But the Emmys are meant to be taking place in September. Will they take place? Probably not, because the SAG-AFTRA has joined the WGA in striking, and now we've got a full-blown writers and actor strike, which we kind of suspected was going to be the case last week.
Didn't you title the episode will the actors strike or something like
Yeah.
that?
Are we on the cusp of an actor strike? Yes.
Yeah.
And the answer was yes.
The answer was yes.
So yeah, some of the news relating it about around why exactly they have stricken or struck, I guess, is interesting. So I'm going to read from this article from Variety. SAG-AFTRA and the major studios remain at odds on a dizzying array of issues as film and TV actors hit the picket lines Friday for the first time since 1980. According to sources on both sides, the biggest sticking point is unions' demand for 2% of the revenue generated by streaming shows. The two sides also remain far apart on basic increases in minimum rates, with the studio offering 5%, 4%, and 3.5% across the 3 years of the contract, while the union is demanding 11%, 4%, and 4%. But that only scratches the surface. The parties are at odds on dozens of issues, only a handful of which have been publicly reported. In some cases, the two sides don't even agree on what the disagreements are about. They engaged in a rare public back-and-forth Tuesday over the use of artificial intelligence to replicate background actors. Duncan Crabtree Island, the union's executive director, alleged that the studios wanted to pay an extra for 1 day's work to be scanned and then to reuse the likeness forever. The Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers hotly disputed that, saying that its proposal explicitly limits the reuse to the project for which the extra was hired. Other sticking points, the streaming revenue share, pay increases. SAG-AFTRA is not seeking to ban AI, but wants to make sure that any use of a performance's likeness is to generate a new performance is done with compensation and consent. The AMTP says it has agreed to that, but Crabtree Island said that the devil is in the detail. It is a very craftily put together proposal that a layperson looking at it might not see any holes at all in it. There are huge gaps that you could drive a Mack truck through. The union wants to require that a performer has to consent to any use of their performance to train an AI system. The AMTP would accept that for AI training used to alter or recreate that performance likeness. But according to Crabtree Island, the AMTP would give studios carte blanche to train AI systems to create synthetic performers for other purposes. SAG-AFTRA also wants to limit the use of self-taped auditions, which have become the industry standard in the wake of the pandemic. The union wants to limit such auditions to no more than 5 pages of material. The AMTP has offered an 8-page limit. The two sides are also working on terms around turnaround times and a provision that would classify no special lighting or equipment as needed. Also debating on pensions and health contributions around this website called Actors Access, which is where a lot of casting notices are put. Apparently there is a free tier and then a premium tier, and saying AFRA is like they think the premium tiered people are getting preferential treatment, but because it's a third party site, it doesn't really fall under the guise of the unions. It's kind of a weird sticking point. Also into option periods for TV actors, a lot of bargaining on background acting and performance capture. So a lot of sticking points there. What thing stuck out most to you?
I think I saw something today that was like they were saying that if someone has to wear like a what do you call the old school corset, and they were like
corset.
People who have to wear corsets should have to get paid more, and they were like no. I was like that's like such a straight. They're like no. It wasn't even like an explanation. They were just like nah, not doing that. I was like okay, it's a bit random, but yeah, I mean if you. I feel like obviously if you read through any of the requests and the counter arguments in some cases, or just in that case, a lot of times where they're just like, nah, like there's not even like a counter. It's just, nah, nothing. We're not doing anything. I don't know. Like it's hard to, I'd like to see how
it's hard to sympathize with the streets.
Yeah, it's hard to sympathize with exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's kind of been interesting like the last week with like them starting to go on strike. Obviously Oppenheimer, they had the big premiere on the day of the strike and all the actors left the premiere before the movie had even been produced.
They did the red carpet.
Did the red carpet and stuff, and then there were a lot of like I think one Deadline put out like a tweet or a clip of Matt Damon making a statement, but it sounded anti-union, and
Well,
like
no, the clip is fine. The quote in the tweet was completely out of context.
yeah. So then, like, that is like one of the first instances, like one of their tweets have been pulled and like re-uploaded with like more context.
In fact,
It's like
a
people
previous
like,
version
whoa,
of this
they're
tweet
lawyers.
said blah 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 blah.
It's like Matt Damon's lawyers came in real fast.
There was another place too, Variety and someone else got them both to pull their tweets down and redo them. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really interesting. And then there's currently a lot of discussion around reviews and I guess reviewers and influencers and stuff and their role in the strike, because apparently with SAG-AFTRA has put out a statement saying that influencers shouldn't be doing promotional work for strike work.
Yeah, I've been doing a bit of reading about this because I saw people tweeting things that I just thought were like, I understand there's a degree here where I'm like, I can understand how people want a bit more clarification about this. I've seen a fair few tweets that are doing stuff like, should I even go to the movies anymore? Go to the movies. Don't be fucking, don't be dumb.
As someone pointed out, if the movies start being less profitable, then they're going to just use that excuse as to why they can't keep playing.
Yeah,
people.
No. The worst thing you could do at this point is not go watch Barbie, not go watch Oppenheimer, whatever else. If you want to go watch the movie, go watch the movie. There's absolutely no reason to not watch the movie.
They're not asking for a boycott.
Yeah, they're not asking for a boycott of the industry. That's not what's happening here. And if you choose to do that, you just you're
if you want to do that,
I don't know why.
Okay,
you're literally helping no one. At that
yeah, you're not helping.
Not helping anyone. You're not helping yourself, and you're not helping anyone at all. So, so as soon as I saw that, I was like, no, that's just going too far. The stuff I did find interesting, I was like, that's a good point. And the stuff I was reading about over the last like 48 hours, I guess, was a lot of the influencer stuff, because then it is like, cosplayers being hired to promote work, etc., etc., etc. Because it is like you're just basically doing straight up promotion for a product at that stage.
Yes.
Which them then saying we don't need to do that. That makes perfect sense to me. What we're doing is totally fine amongst their rules, like as far as like media / journalism, whatever, like reporting, blah blah blah. Because this is film criticism.
Technically, we're Australian. We're not going to become this
like,
SAG-AFTRA.
I'm still saying, like,
I mean,
in the realm of like, do I feel bad, like, of not showing any kind of support? No, film criticism or TV criticism / discussion is still like not something that is struck. It's just anything that would be considered or could be used in a way, as far as I understand, could be used in any sort of like straight up promotion.
If you're being paid by one of the studios and you have to put the hashtag ad, in your ad,
don't do that. Yeah,
unless you're like contractually obligated, I think. Yeah. But don't start doing that, I think, is the gist of it.
Yeah.
But
go
yeah,
to the movies, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I mean, some of the discussion around like reviews, I saw a few different posts, like people getting very angry when they were like, they said writing reviews for movies would make you a scab and that kind of stuff, and would be against
it's
because it's promotional work.
If it's a positive,
writing reviews is a part of the promotion of a film.
I disagree. It's art criticism has been more in current years has been tied more closely to promotion.
Where do you think the codes and screeners come from? Promotion.
I guess so.
Promotional funds.
All right, or pay to buy the ticket then.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like if you want to, like if that's gonna make.
But like, I'm gonna go see Oppenheimer at a screening tonight. Should I be like posting, oh man, I put Oppenheimer, hashtag, thanks Warner Brothers, love it, your movie, I
would say probably not.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
I would say that's the line. Writing a review for the film is fine.
Okay.
Saying going to a screening, I'd say that's fine. Now the thing is, so you saw, they had the Barbie premieres last night. A lot of people dress up. They look like they had a great time. This is nothing against anyone that took pictures. Like a lot of people I follow were at different premieres, Sydney, Melbourne, pictures. Thank you, Warner Brothers Barbie premiere. People taking pictures and their little things and whatever else. that is all 100% just promotion for film, free publicity.
But does it make those people scabs?
No.
No. Okay. Are they in the wrong at all, or is it just a super grey area?
I don't think they're in the wrong. I just think that like that,
or is it because it? I mean, technically, the money will be going to Warner Brothers, but also a cut of it's going to them here.
We're in Australia, so it gets very weird.
Yes.
B, everything I'm saying is just my personal opinion. Of what if I could have gone to a Barbie, like let's say I lived in Melbourne and I could have gone to the Melbourne premiere last night, right? If I lived, if I could have gone to the Melbourne premiere last night, I would have happily gone, watched the movie. I would have happily wrote a review up and posted it today. I would have not posted any tweets of the thing saying I was there. That would be my personal line. Now, does me doing that get me fucking
street cred or like
street cred from anyone? No. Would I? But I would just do it because I just feel more comfortable, personally.
Okay.
Within my skin, you know.
All right.
That's where I'm at.
So you're not going to tweet you're at the Barbie movie tomorrow when you go see Barbie?
No, I think if you go see Barbie or Oppenheimer and you pay, you can tweet all you want.
Okay.
I think it's just if you've got them for free, I think it's a bit weird too.
Because
a lot of those times, those tweets, they are used as like free publicity to places retweet it, which I think in general is fine. Like any other time, I think it's fine. Like it is what it is. However, currently, I think it's a bit weird.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird period.
Like I don't think there's anything wrong with you going to the Oppenheimer screening. I would say that posing at the poster, posting a picture, which is basically just to promote that you're at a free event, which is like promotion, that would be a bit weird. Currently.
Yes.
Would I say you're a scab if you did such a thing? No. Do I think it makes you a bad person doing such a thing? No. My personal opinion is thus.
Okay. So
would I check out my Instagram. Yes. Ultimately, I don't give a fuck what you do. I'm just saying.
Okay. Yeah. It's definitely a weird period. We also see here what do you want to watch in unison with the strike. We will not be interviewing any actors or actresses from any projects. In solidarity for this period. But once it's over, here's
street cred, man.
Yeah. Let's get into what's our watch history.
Holy fuck.
I mean, it's been a bit of a slower week.
Doing the show backwards.
I know. Dylan, you've got a review up on the website for Sharksploitation, new documentary coming to Shudder this week.
I do. Sharksploitation is a documentary about sharks films / sharksploitation films in particular. Basically, sharksploitation is like take Jaws and then anything that tries to follow in a similar vein of that movie or anything like that. So
The Shallows, Deep Blue Sea, The Meg, Sharknado, Sharknado 2, Sharknado 3, Jaws 2.
Yep.
That's all of them, right? That's all the shark movies.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, all those and other things they make sure to mention in this doco include other things like the Piranha movies, which were basically just Jaws, but they changed it to Piranha, and like any animal movie where it's like it's Jaws, but it's a bear.
Cocaine Bear?
A Cocaine Bear would 100% count.
Okay.
As a sharksploitation movie. Like it's like, or a spin-off of the sharksploitation genre. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I feel like if you like any of the shark attack movies, be it the really serious ones or the more comedic ones, or the recent string of the ones Ash just mentioned, the really low budget Sharknado and all that, Mega Shark and whatever else, they cover all of that in this documentary. The other stuff too I found quite interesting is they made sure to cover how the release of Jaws actually affected sharks and their public perception, and has ever since.
It was super popular before.
Well, no, they point out in history, like 1920s films, sharks are treated as majestic creatures. They're not like the movies of sharks in them. It's not people hunting them and like treating them like they're evil things. They point out the, as seen in Moana, they make sure to point out the indigenous legend of Kamahauli and Nanu. Is that how, I think that's how you say it.
Sure.
Like the sun shark and the son of the shark, half human thing or whatever. Like all like throughout history and different religions and stuff, like
That's
sharks
from
were
Lava Girl
considered.
and Shark Boy. Not
Yeah, well, they make sure to point out that
Not
sharks
Moana.
weren't always viewed as these like evil things that'll like hunt you down and like but like basically after the release of Jaws, public perception was sharks are evil. All sharks in the ocean are there to kill you and hunt you down. Whereas of course the truth is that most sharks don't want anything to do with you. They have like a funny bit in the movie, in fact, where they're like talk about a dude who's like, if you're looking at a bench and there's like a cheeseburger there and there's like a coffee pot and like a flower and like all this random stuff, he's like, and if you accidentally bit into this other thing instead of cheeseburger, you'd be like, oh yuck, this is disgusting. He's like, that's what happens sometimes with sharks. They you hear about shark attacks. The shark thought you were just bobbing up and down like you're a fucking fish or something, which sounds terrible. Like, and obviously people lose limbs and die and whatever else, but it's like, mother nature, I guess. And then, they cover all these different sorts of factors of sharks. And it's definitely not in a way of like, it's not this isn't a, hey, shark movies are bad. Like, look how they've affected sharks. Like, this is a ultra like, animal conservative film or anything, but it does have those viewpoints, which I appreciate it. But most of the time, those people giving that viewpoint, it's definitely not from a point of, hey, shark movies are bad. They list off and they're like, we love all these shark movies, but like, it's worth talking about the fact that like Jaws sort of like ruined sharks, and the way people like that you can look and see more sharks have died since 1975. People started killing sharks more because they were like, man, Jaws fucking, it's disastrous. So lots of talking heads and stuff like that, movie footage. They sort of cover, they covered the timeline of shark exploitation from the release of Jaws, every Jaws major release, a lot of the major shark movies, that like Deep Blue Sea and whatever else up to current days. It is a timeline, except for I kind of kept getting annoyed that they would weirdly jump ahead sometimes and then come backwards, and it was sort of distracting for the overall flow of the documentary, especially because it does cut back to a literal timeline image it's moving along, and I'm like, well, Will's just in the fucking 90s. Why are we back in the 80s now? You're confusing me. And they spend too much time at the end of the movie, in my opinion, going over the fucking behind the scenes of the Sci-Fi Channel and the silent productions of Mega Shark, Sharknado, all those sort of things. They do like 15, 20 minutes, I felt, on those films in particular, which I understand they're super popular currently, but it just very much seems like it's like the movie switches between two ends. Like the first half of the movie is all these people talking about Jaws and the movies up through the 90s to Deep Blue Sea and all this sort of stuff, and suddenly it just switches gears and goes into the low budget shark film stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? This feels like it went to a different movie, but like I understand it has its place. Too much for me. I would have preferred that time used something else, but yeah, overall I gave it 7.5. I feel like if you like shark movies, if you like Jaws, if you like shark attack movies, must watch interesting doco, I thought. Shutter.
all right. So yeah, check Dylan's review out at explosion.com. Staying on the documentary train, I watched the Emmy nominated documentary series Dear Mama, which is a documentary about Tupac Shakur. Currently available now on Disney Plus, and it kind of follows his whole upbringing, career, life, from his early days. It's kind of crazy the footage that they've got in this series, where like he's being interviewed in high school, like by like for some high school project or whatever, and they've somehow managed to find that footage and use it in this documentary. As someone who is not overly familiar with Tupac's career or like life, this was very informative and interesting. It's also very closely tied to his mother, who was part of the Black Panther movement back in the day, and how that affected how her involvement in the Black Panther Party and being around that influenced Tupac, and then Tupac's taking that as part of his upbringing and taking that into the world of music and hip hop and rap. super interesting. The craziest thing is, this documentary is directed by who was it? Alan Hughes. So Alan Hughes and his brother did a bunch of the early Tupac music videos. But then they got into a rather big altercation with Tupac, taking him to court in 1994 after he assaulted them during a music shoot video. So this director got assaulted by Tupac and is now making the documentary all these years later. But yeah, lots of obviously huge people involved, like Snoop Dogg and a lot of the people from Death Row Records and like a lot of Tupac's family.
We got Suge Knight in here in jail.
No, he's not involved. He's not interviewed as part of the documentary. You see him throughout the process. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting. Five episodes. They're about an hour long each. So I would definitely recommend checking that out on Disney Plus. Weird place for it to be, but you know, that's where we are. Dylan,
baby.
Yeah. Dylan, you watched a few documentaries as part of the Melbourne Documentary Film Festival.
I did. So I put up an article. What the fuck? I put up an article titled 10 Films to Check Out at Melbourne Documentary Film Festival. 5 are the ones I watched, and then there was 5 I'd mentioned that I would like to watch. But the 5 I did watch, they're just alphabetical, I think, in the article. So the first one is Cover Your Ears. So this is a documentary about music censorship that it was quite good. So literally everything from rock and roll to hip hop to punk, you know, what you have it, however it's been censored throughout the years. It's the early days of, you know, they start probably around jazz and like how it was sort of, you know, it's sort of part of racism, you know, like the censorship of black musicians and stuff like that, all the way up into more modern, you know, with literal censorship by having, well, nearly censorship, I guess, technically, with the introduction of like the parental advisory sticker and like how that came about, and different artists put on trial for that, you know, different people getting arrested, and you know, everything from NWA to whatever. It ends up talking about the current ongoing case with Young Thug and the rest of YSL Records and how they're currently on trial for this particular American act thing that's been put forward because of the lyrics in their songs and stuff, and they're currently on trial for that sort of stuff. A lot of stuff in here not particularly groundbreaking. I did like the way it was overall put together though, and the framing here as, you know, to be careful around this sort of stuff, and like freedom of artistic expression and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I thought this was a good one, well worth checking out. We then got Energy, a documentary about Damo Suzuki. Never heard about Damo Suzuki, musician that was apparently in a very popular, I guess, in a particular like area of the country, particularly Germany, which is where it was, for a band called Can. But after that, he like sort of spun off onto his own, and he does a thing where he just tours all the time, and he doesn't release music until he's like done playing it, and he just releases CDs then afterwards. But all he does is just tour. Like he's basically on a never-ending tour. But he found out he had cancer when he was like 30, and then he's gone for all this stuff, and now he's like, this documentary covers him now. I can't remember how old he's supposed to be when the documentary is being filmed, but he's like, you know, 70 odd or whatever. Like he's old, and he's still rocking out, doing what he does. But he's got this never like imputing thing in the background of this upcoming operation and all this sort of stuff to get past the cancer. But you know, it was really interesting person. Definitely not like someone you've seen before. An interesting character that I thought was what makes this well worth checking out, especially because I didn't know anything about the person. I didn't look up anything, and I just clicked play, and I was just like, who is this fucking dude? It was this sort of crazy story. So I thought that was good. Musk vs. Bezos, I watched the new Star Wars. So this is a documentary focusing on the rivalry between Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos's separate space entities and stuff, whatever, SpaceX and Blue Origin, and how they're going face to face and how they've been chasing each other for years now to basically be the best space corporations that they can be, and get the NASA contract and all that sort of stuff. It's interesting to a point, but I do like by the end of the documentary, I sort of found myself going, why the fuck do I care? Like they point out, like they literally point out that, you know, that every time that Bezos takes these people who pay like $250,000 to fly up into space, you know, like they're spending so much money for these very short trips to space and back down, and B, the amount of like damage they're doing to the fucking ozone layer and whatever else every time he does this for very expensive tourism. And then Elon Musk's over here fucking, well, Elon Musk, we don't even need to fucking go down that road at this stage. Like by the end of it, like it was interesting them covering the earlier years of both of them and their background as like super nerds that made them want to get into space very early, using money from each of their own different corporations. But by the end of the documentary, you're just like, these are two just billionaire fuckwits in their own ways. It's like sort of how I felt. But I don't know. If you got any interest in space, I guess it's mildly interesting. Surviving Sunset, an actor's Hollywood journey. This was a very sort of amateurish film, which was like which adds a little asterisk to it. So it's Sean Anthony Robertson is like a indie or a small sort of Australian actor, and he decides to head on over to Hollywood to see how hard it can be to even get like auditions or anything over there. Let's just fly over there, give myself like a month or whatever it is, and how hard can it be? Surely I can surely you can figure something out. And he interviews a bunch of actors and stuff like that over there at the time about it. And, you know, there's all these little things about like, he can't get shit because he doesn't have a green card. He's not part of like any of the SAG. He's not, you know, like all these sort of like hang-ups on anything. And then all the actors he talked to are basically saying it's the worst possible idea for anyone to move to Hollywood to try and get a gig there. Like if you get super lucky, yes, you basically have to do it. You got to make it. That's the only way to make it if you want to make it in Hollywood, but also you'll move there. You have to work like 3 jobs to afford to live there, and then you probably won't get a job anyway. I don't know. We've all watched La La Land.
But it works out for them.
Like, well, yeah, I guess.
Except for love.
I guess so, yeah, except for love. That's the losing thing. Yeah, I thought it was enjoyable for like a different point of view for Hollywood, from a much more like ground floor level view of Hollywood and what's going on there. That made it quite interesting, you know. And it even covers like the glitz and glam. You know, he talks about, you know, there's one interview he's doing there where he's like, you know, like you always see it and the camera's always pointed up and show the glitz and glam, but he's like, look what it's really like here, and there's just like, you know, homeless people everywhere. You know, like it's just you know, like points out just how different it was to actually go over there and see what it was like. Then the last one I watched was called The Girl in the Picture. So this is about the famous picture of the young naked girl like running towards the camera, with her clothes burned off her body after a napalm strikes gone off. I feel like everyone would have seen this picture, even if they don't know what the picture was ever from. Like it's one of those sort of, I feel like it's definitely in like the top 10 probably most famous photos. You've may not know who shot it, but you've probably seen somewhere. But this is focused around that photo. It's got interviews with people talking around different photographers who were there at the time when that was being shot and like how it happened. It also covers the girl, like where is she now? Did she survive? Is she still alive? So what is she doing? Like, you know, what lengths had to go through to actually get her help after the fact, because that was also interesting, because pretty much the spoil part of it, they like the photographer and a bunch of the photographers like take her to a hospital and they're like pretty much like, oh yeah, but like I've got 1 million kids here dying, like she's probably just going to die in 2 days, there's nothing I can do to help her. You know, like it's just like Jesus Christ. And they were like, no, you need to, like, I know it's super bad to say, but like this girl is blowing up in American papers at the moment because of this photo. We need to like we sort of need the happy ending to this story sort of thing. So they pushed for her, or else she probably would have died. So, yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Like it's basically just behind the scenes of a photo, which, you know, you see documentaries about behind the scenes of movies and TV shows and all this sort of stuff. So behind the scenes of a photo and what went through it, even the cropping of it slightly before it was published and stuff like that, which was quite interesting. So yeah, they're the 5 films I watched as part of the Melbourne just the Melbourne Documentary Film Festival. Some of those are online. Surviving Sunset, I think, is the only one that isn't, that I got sent a screener for. I think the other 4 are in cinemas and online. But yeah, so because they do the same thing every year where it's like the first couple of weeks is online only, and then as of next week, the last week is when they run it as part of Nova. No, whatever the cinema's called. Cinema Nova has the screenings if you live in Melbourne and you want to attend.
All right. So I've watched the first 2 episodes of the After Party season 2. Of course, this is the comedy series in which there's a murder that happens, and we have to find out who the murderer is over the course of the season. And Tiffany Haddish plays Detective Dana, and she interviews all the witnesses, and they all tell back the story, the events of the night in question, from their own perspective with their own type of storytelling. Sam Richardson and Zoe Chow are back this season. After they got together at the end of the last season, they're going to Zoe Chow's sister's wedding, and the husband croaks the day after the wedding. The sister, the bride, is the number 1 suspect. They go and kind of again recapping the events. This is Anique, who Sam Richardson playing's first time meeting Zoe Chow's Zoe's parents. So he's trying to make a good impression. He does the classic rom-com thing of being the worst possible human, clumsy person he could possibly be. Every most disastrous thing he could do, he pretty much does. It was hard to sit through. It was that awkward.
You love some awkward comedy, though.
It was rough, Ken Jeong plays the father of the bride, and he asks Anique to go pick up his relatives from the hotel. Just picks up some other random Asian people. Really funny. Zach Woods plays the groom, who's a very quiet, very eccentric tech billionaire or tech bro, kind of it's not exactly clear, but he has a lizard on his shoulder called Ramona at all times, who also dies. So they both got poisoned.
Everyone's dying.
Everybody dies. No. So the first episode, the rom-com. The second episode is told as if it's a Jane Austen novel-esque thing. It's out of Pride and Prejudice, or it explicitly pulls the dance scene from Little Women. The one where the Timothée Chalamet and Saoirse Ronan are dancing outside, so nobody can watch them. They pull that scene and do it here.
Rip off.
Kind of. I'm enjoying it so far. Lots of funny characters. Jack Whitehall. Who else is in this season? John Cho, I mean. Anna Conkle. Lots of really good people. So I would recommend checking out the After Party, especially if you watch the first season. It's kind of a necessity if you want to watch this. Dylan, you've got a bunch of horror short films on your Trakt. What's up with that?
They were all part of what the fuck was? Hold on, let me pull up the actual name. They were all part of, according to ExplosionNetwork.com, the Etheria Film Festival. So a couple of these shorts had been part of a few other things, but the Etheria Film Festival last couple of years has streamed exclusively on Shudder, and they've done the same thing again this year. You don't have to click into them separately; it just plays them back to back to back to back in one hour 40 length. It's a feature length, but it rolls one short into another. But the focus of the Etheria Film Festival is showcasing female directors. So every one of the short is a female directed horror film.
Yeah.
So sort of makes it a little bit. It's not it's just another fucking horror film festival or whatever. So which is pretty cool. I instead of going like too hardcore, I'll read out the synopsis for each one, then I'll give it a thumbs up. So starts with no overnight parking. It was a woman fleeing her abusive husband gets locked in an underground parking garage with a masked killer. Double thumbs up, had a great twist. Autopilot. A lone pilot on a homebound space vessel finds herself trapped in a waking nightmare when her holographic virtual companion begins to defy his programming. Double thumbs up. Really enjoyed it. This is one of the longer ones. I'll say 16 minutes was one of the longer ones. More of a sci-fi than a horror, or like a sci-fi thriller. Had a great twist as well. Really enjoyed the payoff. Sucker. To her horror, Sam discovers her sister Caitlin has been infested by a monstrous leech creature slowly sucking her life force dry. This is just straight up body horror for like 8
Two
minutes.
thumbs down.
One up, one down. The practical effects and everything was really well done, considering if you appreciate that sort of like stuff, which Ash would. But yeah, the Earl King. Lenora runs away from a strict religious village into the loving arms of an ancient woodland god called the Earl King. But Lenora realizes that he's had sinister plans for her all along. So this is like a fantasy horror is the genres they put down for it, which is definitely right. This is set in like 1800s, runs around. Really appreciate the makeup and special effects on what was happening for the creatures designs and everything here. So I'm going to go one up, one down. I didn't love the ending, but one up, one down. Incomplete. Evan is on house arrest in a haunted house, or so he thinks. I'm going to go one up, one down. Great concept. Was enjoying like 90% of it. Didn't love that. I felt like it didn't fully do the landing well, but overall it was a really interesting concept for this one. That was good. Border. A young woman turns on the TV to watch her favorite Korean romantic drama, but realizes to horror that she might be the one being watched. This is very short. It's only a 5-minute short. Korea/Japan made horror here, and really good. Like just for the short time, I was like, this is just straight fun slasher, fun little twist. Enjoyed it. Sleep Study. So it says a restless new mother confronts a dangerous terror. A restless new mother confronts a dangerous terror whenever she tries to sleep. Double thumbs up for this one. I really enjoyed it's the whole setup and then the payoff, and it like this is a well told just story in 10 minutes. It was good. Angels. Bella has almost given up hope on her mother recovering from a deadly illness until a meteor containing a mysterious being falls from the sky and lands in their fields. One up, one down, sort of monster horror, sci-fi sort of thing here. Good. Again, I feel like it's just like I just need another couple minutes out of some of these to I feel just add a little bit more context or like land the ending. So I'm going to go one up, one down. Go to bed, Raymond. You should listen to your kid when someone tells you they're in their room. One up, one down on this one as well. Monster sort of horror thing, sort of by the books for this one as far as compared to a lot of these shorts, but it was still good. And then the final one was Make the Call. Two former best friends reunite in a changed world, finally confronting the demons that ripped them apart. One up, one down on this one as well. I enjoyed this like teasers for the majority of it for its 15 minutes. Like you're trying to guess what has happened. It keeps like these two friends get back together. They're having a few glasses of wine. You're like, it keeps like teasing that they had a big argument over something to do with her husband. You're like, what's wrong with her husband? And then, they keep saying he's sick and you're trying to guess what it's actually going to be. And I thought the payoff was pretty fun towards the end. So you can stream all of that on Shudder now. But yeah, it was a good little rundown of shorts.
All right. Well, that's everything on Watch History. Let's give some thumbs to trailers. Of course, you can find all the trailers we're about to talk about this week in the show notes below. First trailer for this week is Command Z, created by Steven Soderbergh, starring Michael Cera, Liev Schreiber, Chloe Radcliffe, Roy Wood Jr., and J.J. Maley. A scientist tasks his employers with a historic mission to travel back in time to revise history and save the world. Dylan, what did you think of trailer for Command Z?
I want to know where the fuck this came from. It just popped up overnight, right?
Yeah, so it's a web series that's only available through Steven Soderbergh's blog.
Mm-hmm.
You pay it's available for $6.99 right now, with all the money going to charity, from what I can tell.
Yeah, that's what I clicked on it to see, and it's like, yep, all money goes to charity. I'm like, okay. So I don't know, double thumbs up.
And I saw it pop up like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
There was a countdown. So yeah.
Yeah, I googled it, and all the news stories were like, Steven Soderbergh reveals something at New York Secret Comic Con.
You know that the boring Full Circle show he's doing? No, let's just check out this thing instead.
Yeah, so I'll go. I mean, honestly, the trailer's like one up, one down. But I'm sort of hard not to give it double thumbs up just for the concept coming out of nowhere and all goes to charity. I don't know. Yeah, but I'll go one up, one down.
Yeah, this is 2 thumbs up for me. It looks crazy, looks zany. So it seems like Michael Cera plays some weird head scientist on a wall.
Yep.
Who tasks these other random people to go back in time in the body of random people and be the voice in their heads.
Yep. They're like their consciousness.
To enact change to history in some way.
And the biggest actor also in it, I guess, is Liev
Schreiber.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna drop my money. I think I want to check this out. It looks weird and wacky. So look forward to talking about it next week. So yeah, like I said, you can check it out by going to CommandZSeries.com.
I assume it's Command Z, like as in like undo.
Yeah. I keep wanting to say that's the undo. Yeah. I keep wanting to say Z, but that's how Australian I am.
How about your Command Z, mate?
Yes. Next trailer, Painkiller, created by Micah Fitzsimmons Blue and Genoa Harpster, starring Uzo Aduba, Matthew Broderick, Sam Anderson, Taylor Kitsch, Carolina Batskak, Tyler Ritter, John Ailes, Ron Lee, Anna Cruz, Kane, Wes Duchovny, Jack Mulhern, and John Murphy. The causes and consequences of America's opioid epidemic unfold in this drama following its perpetrators, victims, and an investigator seeking the truth. So what do you think of the trailer for Painkiller?
I think it's pretty, like, I don't know if it's because he won an Emmy nomination, so they decided to put out a new trailer for Dope Sick, but I'm gonna go double thumbs up for this. Like, is it still on Disney Plus or did they take it off? Like,
no, this is the completely different series.
What?
It's
it's
a classic case of Deep Impact Armageddon.
Well, it's crazy because I could have sworn this was a trailer for
that isn't Michael Keaton. That is Matthew Broderick.
Oh, Matthew Broderick, right? Okay.
I know they look the same. Very similar careers. They both play Batman.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So connecting fabric. But no, I'll go double thumbs up for the trailer. It is still very, very weird to just be like, cool. So you're putting out a show on Netflix that's like, it's not exactly Dope Sick. It has still one of the same quote unquote characters in the head of the fucking pharma company, whatever his name is. But then they've switched like the sellers from the pharmacist dude from like the he's like, he's slowly realized he's doing the bad thing to like just got girls who are very happy to.
Who was it? Adam Warlock.
Yeah, that dude. Whatever his fucking name is. Like he was like very like, I don't know, like over the course of the series he realized he's doing bad, whereas they've like replaced,
Will Poulter.
Yeah. They've replaced him with these girls who are like
young girls.
Fuck you. I'm here to make all the money.
One literally sticks the finger at the victim.
Yeah. So yeah. Double thumbs up for trailer. It's just very weird that I'm like, that was an Emmy award winning show.
Yes.
So
yeah, this is one up, one down for me. The tone is very weird, timing wise as well. Especially when they're still in a massive opioid crisis, and opioids are killing hundreds of people, like making jokes about how it all started. It seems a bit weird. But I mean, it feels more palatable than Dope Sick, so that might be good. And it's weird seeing Taylor Kitsch something again. You know? I think he's been in a bunch of the Taylor Sheridan shows though. Yeah, I haven't seen him since Friday. No, I've seen him. He was in Battleship, and that killed his career. No, or was it John Carter? Those two collectively killed his career after Friday Night Lights. Everyone thought he was going to be the breakup star. All right, Painkiller is coming to Netflix on August 10th. Next trailer is for Special Ops Lioness, created by Taylor Sheridan, starring Zoe Saldana, Leisla de Oliveira, David Abel, Jill Wagner, LaMonica Garrett, James Jordan, Austin Hibbert, Jonah Wharton, Hannah Love Lanier, Nicole Kidman, and Morgan Freeman. A female Marine is tasked with befriending the daughter of a suspected terrorist who's being surveilled by the US Central Intelligence Agency. Dylan, what did you think of the trailer for Special Ops Lioness?
I'm going double thumbs down. I thought it was a very messy trailer. I know what I nothing grabbed me to be honest. I got nothing.
Yeah, this is I'll give one up, one down. You know, I probably would not be interested without the cast involved. You know, Nicole Kidman looks pretty good. Zoe Saldana looks pretty good. Morgan Freeman's in it.
I only like Zoe Saldana when she's blue. You know.
What about it when she's green?
All green. It's very weird seeing her as a real human being.
Yeah, it just seems kind of like a stock standard kind of thriller kind of thing. So, yeah. The latest entry in the Sheridan pipeline. So this is releasing on Paramount Plus July 23rd. Next trailer is for The Pod Generation, directed by Sophie Barthus, starring Emilia Clarke, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Rosalie Craig, Vinette Robinson, and John Mark Barr. A couple in futuristic New York use technology such as detachable artificial wombs and pods to start their family. Dylan, what did you think of the trailer for The Pod Generation?
Yeah, double thumbs up. I thought it looked great. Really unique concept. Two great leads in the front there. You know, I don't know what there's not to like about this. I'm keen to watch it.
Yeah, I'll give it 2 thumbs up as well. Like, I've looking at the reviews at Rotten Tomatoes, doesn't look like it's very good.
Well,
but I know. Yeah, they could have changed it so much in Sundance. But yeah, it looks really cool. Interesting idea. Lots of cool visuals. Just the idea of a pregnancy where the baby is not inside the woman is weird, but also could be good for the future. I don't know. Like, is that something women actually want? Or, like, I'm sure they do. Like, I'm sure there's, like, it's very interesting concept, and, like, I'm sure there'll be a lot of interesting discussion around it from people who actually watch it. But, yeah, those two actors, I think, would really cool together. So, yeah, this is definitely an interesting one. It's set for a limited release in the US on August 1st. No Australian release date. Final trailer for this week, Wonka, directed by Paul King, starring Timothée Chalamet, Kayla Lane, Keegan-Michael Key, Patterson Joseph, Matt Lucas, Matthew Baton, Sally Hawkins, Rowan Atkinson, Jim Carter, Tom Davis, Olivia Colman, and Hugh Grant. Based on the extraordinary character at the center of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Roald Dahl's most iconic children's book and one of the best-selling children's books of all time, Wonka tells the wondrous story of how the world's greatest inventor, magician, and chocolate maker became the beloved Willy Wonka we know today. Dylan, what are your thoughts on Timothée Chalamet as Willy Wonka?
I'm gonna go one up, one down. I think I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. Very weird movie. I don't love Timothée Chalamet's Wonka. I don't know if I can't even blame him, because obviously there's a direction given to him, and that one part where he just says scratch it, rewind it. I'm like, was that the only take? Like, what was it? a bit of pep in your step. You had more pep doing the Apple TV advert. Like, fucking Jesus. Yeah, so I don't know. I'll go one up, one down. Obviously, I like the director. I like a bunch of people involved in the project. Hugh Grant looks sort of funny as a Oompa Loompa. I know, it's a weird fucking movie.
It's 2 thumbs up from me. I really enjoy the trailer. I think, yeah, I feel like maybe people are too attached to the Gene Wilder version, you know? And it's an incredibly, you know, high watermark to reach, a high bar to pass. I'm not sure it's exactly fair to put Timothée Chalamet up against Gene Wilder, and we're all going to forget about the Johnny Depp Willy Wonka film because that was
my main problem is this.
bad. Yeah.
Why does this motherfucker get 3 movies made around him when it's called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Like,
because the Charlie movie is just super depressing. It's like this kid coming home from school every night, and his grandparents are in the one bed.
Yeah.
You know,
but
we've seen that movie.
There's a sequel book. I read it in primary school.
I think they're making a Netflix.
Are they?
Movie. Well, the Roald Dahl estate's got like a massive
Glass
agreement
elevator.
with.
They've
got a massive deal with Netflix, from what I understand. Oh no, Netflix bought the Roald Dahl estate or something like that, from memory.
I don't remember.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that's in the works. But I mean, Willy Wonka is more interesting. The crazy thing is, he's like super happy and excited in this movie, and by the end of before we get to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, he's the reclusive hermit. You know, he's super excited to talk to everybody. Either this movie is going to make him super depressed, or he'll eventually become super depressed. I don't know if that will happen in this particular movie. But yeah, looks fun. Lots of interesting visuals. I think Hugh Grant does look good as the Oompa Loompa, which is crazy because who would have thought? And yeah, I'm definitely excited to check out Wonka later this year. Wonka is coming to Australian cinemas on 14th of December. All right, let's jump into this week's top 3.
Definitely in the top 3.
This week, I'm just going to make it super simple. Top 3 Christopher Nolan films. Why? Because Oppenheimer's coming out. Dylan, what's your number 3?
I forgot to do this. Hold on. I was so set on that. I would fucking. This is easy though. Hold on. Number 3. Let's go with. Fuck, it's actually not. It's hard, hey. Number 3. Let's go with Dunkirk.
Wow. Okay.
I think it's one of the best war movies I've made. I think it's fantastic. Shot. It's amazing.
If only we could hear it, right?
What are you talking about? Get better.
Yep. My number 3, Inception. Dreams Within Dreams. Leonardo DiCaprio is really good. Great supporting cast. Wild. The gravity, the scene with Joseph Gordon-Levitt in the hallway. Crazy. Dylan, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Dark Knight Rises. Again, every time we talk about these movies, I can't go past Dark Knight Rises being my favorite of that Bat trilogy, even if I can accept that Dark Knight is a technically better made movie. Rises is just the culmination of those 3, so every time I sort of just want to pick it, and I really like it. So that's going to be my number 2.
My number 2 is The Prestige. I think fantastic movie. The first time you watch it, it pulls off the magic trick spectacularly, and then you can still rewatch it despite knowing what the magic trick is. It might even be more rewarding watching it knowing what the magic trick is, the illusion and that kind of stuff. Fantastic performances by Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman, and Dave Bowie appears as Nikola Tesla. A lot of fun. Prestige, number 2. Dylan, what's your number 1?
Number 1's The Prestige. Yeah, it's a great movie. It's just fantastic performances. And yes, I've watched it several times, and the magic trick 100% holds up every time you watch it. Doesn't ruin the movie at all. It's not a movie built upon the reveal being fun, and like then any subsequent viewing is not as much fun. It's got these just between the fantastic performances, and you appreciate it like more, like how it's all sort of put together and everything. And yeah, I mean, between Andy Serkis, David Bowie, Michael Caine, like Scarlett Johansson, like it's a stacked cast, and yeah, I think it's probably Nolan's most underappreciated movie, but in my opinion, his best. So
My number one's The Dark Knight. Fantastic movie. The benchmark for superhero movies. Heath Ledger's Joker is fantastic. The stunts they managed to pull off is crazy. Yeah, this movie made Christopher Nolan. The Christopher Nolan we know now. You know, obsessed with IMAX, obsessed with practical stuff, big scale, crazy.
have you watched all these movies or no?
I've watched everything from Dark Knight, from Batman Begins.
So you haven't seen like Memento or Insomnia?
I haven't seen Memento or Insomnia
or
or
the
Following.
Following. Yeah.
Dylan, this week, what do you want to watch?
Barbieheimer.
If you could only pick one.
No.
Okay, that's a fair response. Yeah. I mean, but this is the event. This is the theatrical event of the year. Weirdly, we've been building up to it, and there's going to be no acting promotion. No one's. It's definitely a weird one.
We're doing it backwards. So I'm going to watch Barbie tomorrow night. You're going to watch Oppenheimer.
Yeah, and then we'll switch.
And then we'll switch. Yeah.
At some point, probably Thursday. What about on the TV front?
On the TV front, I don't know. Was there anything even out this week that I cared? I don't think there was there? No.
Not for you, I don't think.
I don't think there is anything for me, no. So I'm going to say no.
On the TV front, The Bear is finally releasing on Disney Plus here in Australia. Season 2. Very excited. Haven't really read too much into what actually happens. I know there's a bunch of guest stars. I know there is... people are calling it one of the best episodes of the year, is part of the season. And people continue to question why it's considered a comedy. So I'm very excited.
Why do they not release this week by week, or even like a week delayed? Like, what the fuck? It's one of the biggest shows currently.
Well, it was released all in one thing on Hulu in America, right?
Yeah.
Technically, Disney does not 100% own Hulu. So I'm guessing because of that, there's some sort of deal that means they can't release it on Disney Plus everywhere at the same time. Would be my guess.
Okay. But there's other stuff on Hulu that comes straight to Disney Plus.
I don't know.
It's
That's my only guess as to why.
Yeah, very weird.
We continue to get fucked.
Because even like Abbott and Elementary is weeks behind. You know.
Yes, it was.
It's like 3-4 weeks behind the US. So weird.
All right. Let us know what you're looking forward to this week in the cinema. Which one are you more excited for? Barbie, Oppenheimer? Let us know by going to our social medias, our Twitter, by going to explosion.com/Twitter, or you can find us on Threads at ExplosionPod, or Instagram at ExplosionPod, or go to our Discord at explosion.com/Discord. If you want to help us out here, what do you want to watch? Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. Leave us 5 stars. Anyone can leave 5 stars, or just tell people about the show. And if you've enjoyed this episode, thought it was worth $1, head over to the Coke page at explosion.com/supports. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.